Hi, I'm Mary Burton from Webster University, and I would like to tell you about the impact of film music. My thesis is that musical scores play an integral role in the film by providing emotional impact, conveying off-screen information that on-screen actions and dialogue cannot through the audience's familiarity with the score, and differentiate a spaghetti western from a noir western. First, we're going to be talking about emotional impacts and how changing the underscore changes the audience's reaction. Then conveying off-screen information and how the use of leitmotifs can signal future actions made by the characters, and then differentiating the subgenres, the spaghetti western and noir western, and how each one sounds different even though they share similar artistic elements to be lumped in the bigger category. Since the beginning of film, music has been used to help tailor the audience's reaction, but often it didn't match the exact tone the filmmaker wanted. Then, in 1912, the filmmakers began including cue sheets to condition the audience's response. Emotions are chemicals in our brain that are produced when our expectations are violated. So when we change the underscore to match the content on the screen, our brains release the chemicals that will give us the feelings of joy, hope, despair, so on and so forth. And the way this happens is through harmonic structure. Let's take a listen to the opening of E.T. the Extraterrestrial. As soon as we see the ship, we think something scary is about to happen, as compared to the mystical feeling we had when the camera was focused on the sky. What happened was, our brain changed the chemical that was being produced as soon as that harmonic structure changed. Adding another layer to this experience, the score can help convey off-screen information through the use of leitmotifs. A leitmotif is a recurring distinctive musical theme that was popularized in the 19th century through Wagner's operas. The best example of conveying off-screen information comes from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Take a listen to the underscore when we see who killed the bad guy. Your ears didn't deceive you. That was a small quotation of the Imperial March, or Darth Vader's theme. The inclusion of that is significant because it helps us show the young man on screen will turn and become the villain we know from the original trilogy. And lastly, the score can differentiate between subgenres. Before we get into that, I should define a couple of terms. A genre is a category of artistic content characterized by a particular style. And a subgenre is another layer of categorical organization of artistic content. For example, under science fiction, we have the classic definition of it as fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances, and space fantasy, which includes the stereotypical fantasy elements such as magic knights and a hero versus dark lord, as well as some tropes in the science fiction category. A classical western often takes place out in the Wild West in 19th century America and feature outlaws, cowboys, and gunslingers. A noir western is a movie that is based around the overarching stylings of a typical western film, but has the elements of moodiness, despair, guilt, and paranoia that is often associated with film noir. The elements of soundtracks are often similar to those of the film genre. For example, Star Wars sounds different from Star Trek, and this matters because the job of the filmmaker is to make the audience believe the genre, and oftentimes composers help with that. Take a listen to this noir western theme. Now, a spaghetti western is a Western that also has those outlaws, gunslingers, and American setting, but was produced in Italy, the most famous being The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Everything on the production line for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is related to Italy, from director to filming location, and this includes the composer of the now famous theme, Ennio Morricone. Take a listen. The tones of the two themes are vastly different because the tones of the two subgenres are vastly different. If The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was a film noir, it would have the more dark and brooding sound as the theme from Blood on the Moon. In conclusion, the score to a film is just as active as the on-screen action because the filmmaker and composer agree to have the score convey off-screen information, provide an emotional impact, and help differentiate between subgenres. Once again, I'm Mary Burton from Webster University. Thanks for watching, and this video was created